Let me close with, as a mechanic, people are a lot like distributors. Some are advanced and some are retarded. 3-beer minimum, I'm out. Tubers! 3-beer minimum here, your small engine addict turned reaction mechanic, here to give you guys a little bit of political analysis today. And I want to tell you guys what I feel is going on in this whole election. First, let me tell you guys, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, PBR, the PBS, NPR, they don't call the election. The electors do. And when states don't certify their election results, you can't really say, oh, these votes go to Biden. Oh, these votes go to Trump. You can't do that. When if the results aren't certified, especially in these contested states, they don't count yet. And if you want to go ahead and take 2 contested states, which appears Trump's going to come out and win, is it North Carolina and Nevada? Got a big feeling he's going to win Nevada. That would put the numbers 237 Trump, 223 Biden. Trump's winning. That's my opinion. But you have people out there in large, enormous crowds that are cheering on and celebrating for the guy that supposedly beat the guy that didn't take the virus seriously enough. Hooray for irony. Hooray for hypocrisy. Thanks for the comment, Dave. That's a friend of mine's analogy on that. But if anybody here remembers, back in the year 2000, Al Gore was your president-elect for 31 days. But there was some contesting going on in the state of Florida, especially Broward County, where they had these little punch hole ballots called, and they called them Chads. And if the Chad was hanging, it didn't count because, like, you could have your form on the way over to the vote to put the thing in the box, and it get knocked loose. It even said in the instructions, hole must be completely punched to count. People need to learn to read. That's back in the year 2000. And then after there was a recount, and then another recount, and then another recount, and another recount, I think it was like 3 or 4 recounts, they realized that George Bush had won the election, and then the Electoral College came out and voted for George Bush. Al Gore was your president-elect for 31 days. Mr. I invented the internet. I'm the father of the internet. No, MIT invented the internet back in the 70s. So, and that guy corrupt as hell. So was Bush. Yeah, but you look at Al Gore, Mr. Global Warming, Mr. Climate Change. Look at his houses. The guy has heaters outside to keep the atmosphere around his pool a decent temperature year-round. Yeah, you want to talk about hypocrisy. You want to talk about irony. I don't want to hear about, we need to be, completely energy independent, Al Gore. But now you even have Biden saying this stuff too. We need to get rid of all fossil fuels. No, you guys want to drive, what are you going to run your 4-wheelers on? Strawberry douche? Yeah, you're not going to. So people out there who are cheering on Biden winning because Trump didn't take COVID seriously enough. Well, the last time I checked, Trump took COVID, he did a pretty good job with it, if you ask me. He passed down the delegation to the states. Each individual state was to run its coronavirus task force, whatever the hell you would call them. Each state got to set their own mandates and their own control the way they thought was best for their state. Me, I'm out here in the state of Maryland. And for a while, we had some of the lowest COVID numbers. We were like number 4 in the country for a while with the lowest numbers because our governor, Larry Hogan, did a hell of a job, controlling what went on in the state. But you can't control people who don't want to be controlled. Most Biden supporters out there, they want to get these large riots, peaceful protests. I don't know what the fuck is peaceful about burning down buildings and burning down businesses and looting. There's nothing peaceful about it. That's just somebody trying to make you think. Like the word racist, okay? The word racist is now another way of describing, me, a Trump supporter. The word racist has completely lost all of its meaning. The last time I checked in the dictionary, racist is defined as a person who openly and actively hates someone based on their race, the color of their skin. That's a racist. Someone who openly and actively hates someone solely based on their race. And they want to call Trump a xenophobe because in January he shut down all travel from China to the United States to help keep COVID under control before we had a single case even here. Somehow we still got cases here. We did. And it's all over the world. There's nowhere it's not. COVID is everywhere. And it's really not all that bad of a virus the way I see it. I've known 3 people to have COVID. 2 of them were completely asymptomatic. Didn't even know they had it. Nothing. Just as clear as day as I'm talking to you. I can have COVID right now. I feel great. Let's go do some jumping jacks. Woo! Let's go drink some beers. And the other person simply had just a little cold. Lasted a couple of days and it all cleared up. So we're going to shut the country down for the most deadliest virus in the world when smoking is killing more people every year than COVID. But smoking's not a pandemic. You know, we put all these restrictions in place, like you can't smoke in open air areas, public areas, you can't smoke in buildings. Although I do know in Hardee County, West Virginia, you're still allowed to smoke indoors in bars. Yeah, okay, so not every place is taking that seriously either. People don't want to take COVID seriously because they're tired of getting locked down. And some people are going to do one very simple thing that they can do. Lie. They don't want you going to work if you're sick, but people out there have to make money. They got to pay bills. They got to put groceries on the table. They got to pay for their mortgage because once you get behind on your mortgage, I hear it's pretty hard to catch up. I don't know. Never been behind on my mortgage. I've always paid my bills. I've always found a way. Even if I come short on money, if I have a hardship, you know, in my job, we took 25% pay cuts. I went out back. I spun up my small engine shop. I made enough money on the side to keep my house paid, to keep food on the table. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to put all that cash money I made onto my taxes, and I'm going to pay my taxes at the end of the year here. When I come by April 15th, I'll be paying taxes on it because I'm a responsible, law-abiding citizen. A lot of people out there don't want to be that. A lot of people out there just don't want to be locked down. They don't think it's fair. They think it's an infringement of their rights. You know, just wear the damn mask, okay? The CDC says it works both ways. Personally, I think it's like putting up a chain link fence to keep out mosquitoes. You decide. So when you have voting machines that automatically swap a vote from one candidate to another 6,000 times in one county in Wisconsin, and all counties in Wisconsin use the same software by Dominion. Okay, look that company up, Dominion. Schumer and Pelosi both have their hands involved in that company. They both have holdings in that company. I wonder, you know, is there something, some kind of conflict of interest maybe? It's kind of funny because the Senate and the House are the only 2 entities out there that insider trading seems to be really legal. They know what policies they push. They know what it's going to do to certain companies. So they invest their money in companies and they pull it out. This is one of the ways they make money. They put their money into companies before they make policies. Those companies go skyrocketing. They know the companies they already got skyrocketing. They know what's going to happen when they make policies that's going to affect them. They pull their money out while it's at an all-time high. Cash. This is one of the ways these politicians out there go in there worth $100,000 and come out being worth hundreds of millions because they don't even have to gamble with their money. They know exactly what's going to happen. You know, one of the stocks I was dealing in, Fastly, was doing great until all this shit broke out with TikTok. And a lot of TikTok traffic got pulled off of Fastly, so now Fastly's kind of tanked down to $75. I lost quite a few grand, but I'm going to hold on to that stock maybe to go back up. Maybe Polar will start using their services. I got to look into it. That'd be great. But as an application developer, I asked myself, how would I have to write an application to take a vote that comes in and flip it to the other person 6,000 times in one county? I got to think to myself about, well, I think back to the days we had those Scantron tests in school. It's that little form, we called it Scantrons. I don't know what they're called now. But you had the little bubbles, A, B, C, D, or E. And you had to fill out the little bubble. The teacher puts them into a machine. You know, you get little red marks next to the ones that are wrong. I know about that because I got a lot of questions wrong. I was a dumbass in school. And I don't ever recall one time of having a test I took passed due to wrong answers being marked correct. Never once. Now, I've had it where answers were marked wrong, and that even though I had the correct answer marked, but that's also because I had another bubble I forgot to erase or I didn't erase good enough, and that one would get spit back out, and the teacher would have to manually grade it and then change the grade. Not once, though, can I recall when a correct answer was marked wrong or a wrong answer was marked correct. So you got to start thinking to yourself, well, now they're saying that all these votes that were marked with Sharpies didn't even count. Yeah, you know why? Because when you put Sharpie on paper, it kind of puts a little bit of a glare to it. So when you put that thing in, it wants to shine a beam of light up. It wants to look for something that's black. And if that has a nice good glare to it, it reflects back white light. And the scanner doesn't see it. It sees white light coming back on all marks. No vote. But now they're going to go hand count all these things, and where the Sharpie was used, they're going to find out, wow, there were lots of votes for Trump because all the Trump supporters came out on actual election day, and they're going to realize that Trump probably is going to come out on top of all this. I think he's still going to be your president for another 4 years. And what is going to happen when Trump's your president for another 4 years? All these leftist idiots are going to be out there looting, rioting, and just having these big mobs in the streets, protesting because, illegitimate president. No. See, if you can't cheat them the first time, because of Russia collusion for 3 years, then it's completely unfounded. Then you're going to try to cheat him out of it again. What's better than winning one rigged election? Winning two. It's kind of funny. I haven't seen one single riot, one single mob. I haven't seen any looting or anything. No crimes committed from the 70 plus pissed off American Republican Trump supporters. I haven't seen one riot yet because we're pissed off, because we got to go to work. Let's get back to COVID. You're not supposed to, if you've been in contact with someone who has COVID, you're supposed to self-quarantine. Well, some people got to pay their bills. They got to go to work. They're going to lie. And most people don't want to get locked down. When Trump passed off the COVID control to the states, you look at these states that have these higher numbers, and you look at the people in those states. My state, Maryland, got low numbers. People here we're happy. Hey, one thing is we get to wear our flag on our face because we got the best damn flag in the land. But people just don't want to be locked down. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. Personally, they don't think they have to. If everyone would, the numbers would definitely reduce. Do you know what's going to be really great for the news networks out there? Fox, CNN, NPR. No, just get out of them all. Except for Newsmax. Newsmax is pretty awesome. Do you know what's going to be great for them really soon? Is when Trump comes out as still your president and the riots and the looting starts all over again. Because for some reason, looting gets a message across. I don't know what message it's getting across other than you're idiots. I don't know what message it gets. But when Trump has these big rallies, they're calling them super spreader events. When people are out there mobbing and rioting in the street because they're Biden supporters and they're Democrats and they think that's the right thing to do, they're not considered super spreader events. Let me tell you what they're not spreading. 1, IQ points. 2, common sense. 3, a normal way of thinking. I can go on. Let me close with, as a mechanic, people are a lot like distributors. Some are advanced and some are retarded. 3-year minimum, I'm out.